Hey, Monsieur Fam. So I have 3 Bible tips that I want to share with you today while I'm stuck in traffic. And today we're going to be talking about the 3 reasons or the 3 strategies to avoid eisegesis. Now, I know that for a lot of you, that term is like, you don't throw it around in everyday conversation. So let me define it for you. Eisegesis is reading into a text what isn't there. It's reading into the text your thoughts or your presuppositions. And by presupposition, I mean a thought that you have about the text before you actually know what the author meant in the text to his original audience. So I want to talk to you about 3 ways we can avoid reading into the text what isn't there. That's eisegesis. All right. So what's the first thing? Well, I think it comes down to, number 1, our approach, and number 2, our language. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to avoid is saying, for me, okay, or to me. So usually we hear this when someone says, well, for me, the text says, and or they say, to me, this is saying. The danger in that is really around the fact that truth could be subjective, and that the original intended meaning doesn't really mean much to you. It's all about your truth, and that kind of thinking is real. That thinking is rampant today, that everybody has their own truth, but that's the wrong way to approach the scripture. What we need to be doing instead is saying, what is the truth of the author? What is the author trying to say? The second thing that we need to be looking at our second strategy is around saying or using the language of I feel. The reason why this is a bad one is because your feelings don't determine the truth of something. And we get caught up in this in life, where our feelings derive our truth and our worldview. And when we feel bad, our world is bad and everybody else is bad. The thing is if we take that thinking into Bible study, then again, we might take our feelings and how that text is making us feel and make that our truth, or the truth that it's saying, and it could be completely opposite. And I see that a lot of the time. I feel, or this text is making me feel as or like, and the intended meaning is not the authority of the text. How it's making you feel becomes that authority. And so that's a bad approach as well. The third strategy here is to avoid I think. And that's using logic, and usually a type of logic that hasn't done the work to gain contextual understanding through history and literary kind of study. I think operates in the realm of logic, and it says maybe it could be. The problem with all 3 of those things is it leaves the idea of truth to a subjective opinion, which leaves the interpretation to the individual and however the individual approaches the text. So we don't want that as we go forward. So what do we want then? We want to basically be asking 2 things. The first thing is, what did the author mean to his original audience? What did the author mean to his original audience? That's number 1. And the second thing that we want to be asking is, what did the original audience hear for the first time, and what was the expectation placed on them to hear and then to do? If we can answer those 2 things, or ask those 2 questions and answer those 2 questions, we're going to be put in a realm of objective truth, or at least be positioned in a place to start this process of Bible study in an objective standard. Anyway, hopefully that's not too many words for you, but hopefully that kind of points you in the right direction. Ask those 2 questions and avoid those 3 things. To me, I feel, I think. And instead ask, what is the author saying? What's his original intended meaning? And what was the original audience expected to hear for the first time when they heard that? All right, that's me for today. Have a great day, everybody. We'll catch you soon. Bye.